Please breathe in. Take your finger pads to the base of your skull, draw little circles. Yawn if yawns want to happen. Ask yourself, what am I saying yes to? This is a short flowing practice. I'm going to offer fewer variations. I will be mainly sticking with the variations in my body that feel right for me today. So listen to your body and take one arm out to the side and turn your thumb down. And do that a few times, palm up and palm down. Feel this shoulder. And you can bring your other hand across if you like and feel your rotator cuff as you're rotating your arm. And then with your thumb down, slide your hand behind your back. Reach it across towards your opposite hip. So see that I'm not reaching up, I'm reaching down towards the outside of my opposite hip. And if you want to use your other hand to rub the front of your shoulder or squeeze your shoulder muscle, you can. I'm feeling both my feet very firmly on the ground. And then I'm going to bend my ear, whichever one is stretching, I'm going to lift that ear so that the side of my neck is long. And if you want, you can rub the side of that neck. Or you can simply look around a little bit, looking up and down, taking in your environment. And then I'm going to make the scissor fingers and slide my hand up and down either side of my ear, going not just to my ear, but down my neck towards the center of my collarbones and underneath my jaw. All right, and then I'll rub underneath my collarbones and go back to that shrugger muscle, squeeze that muscle, and let my back hand go. Let it swing a little bit. And roll both shoulders. Pause. Now, sometimes it feels uncomfortable, like one arm's a little longer than the other. And it might even look like that. I think in the video, my one arm looks a little longer than the other. So see how that feels for you. And then take your other arm out. Turn your thumb up and down. And if you want, bring your hand onto your shoulder. Give it a little rub. All right, and then thumb down, internal rotation. If it's appropriate, slide your hand behind your back, or just leave it on your hip or by your thigh. I'm rubbing that shoulder. And I'm starting to lift my ear up and away from the shoulder that I'm stretching. Feeling both feet firmly on the ground, using my rubbing hand to squeeze my shrugger muscle as I look up and away and down and away a few times. And then I'm going to use that hand to come up and do the scissor fingers and slide my hand up and down either side of my ear and then down my side of my neck, sternocleidomastoid muscle, going up and down, and then finding underneath my collarbone for a moment, and then back to my shrugger muscle, squeezing that big muscle that moves my shoulder up and down. And then let that arm dangle and swing. All right, roll both shoulders. Walk your feet a little closer together, shake out a little. And we're going to pick up one foot. So hug your outer hips towards each other, pick up one foot, and circle your foot on your ankle. And then circle your foot the other way. And we're going to try from the hip a little active external rotation. So this is the active range of motion. And if you wobble, hey, I'm not alone. So turning your foot to the side, your knee out, and then bring your foot down, but keeping your foot off the ground. So try it one more time, and then place that foot down, pause. So that's your active range of motion. If we were going to either hold that foot or put that foot on the opposite thigh, that would be passive range of motion, right? Let's try the other foot. So circle your foot. Foot just lifted a little off the ground, remembering you can use support if you're feeling wobbly today. All right, and then external rotation, back to neutral. And going through that active range of motion a few times, knowing it's going to be different. than the passive range of motion. So this would be passive. This is active. Notice the angle is different. Place that foot down and shake out. All right, then imagine you've got a block between your shins or thighs and hug the block firmly. Pin your arms back as if they're wings pinned on your back and reach your tail feathers far back as you sit down. So sit back, spread your toes. Imagine hugging that block between your legs and then roll to the balls of your feet, balancing bird. Do a little tipping as you keep reaching your arms up and back. And then let this tip you forward. Come to either all fours or downward dog. So from all fours, move your knees a little further back. And in downward dog, find what works. And either way, we're going to inhale, lengthening hips up and back. And then exhale, shoulders float above your wrists. And do it a few times. Drawing your waist in on your exhale. And then if knees are up, bring them down and lower all the way to your belly. Keep your hands where they are underneath your shoulders, or adjust them so they're under your shoulders. And then draw your elbows back and widen out your collarbones. Have your feet a comfortable distance apart. And then use the strength of your back to lift your head rather than the strength of your neck. Inhale. And as you exhale, soften your belly. Feel strength in the backs of your legs, your glutes. So your butt muscles, it's fine to use them. It's fine to press your feet and think of lengthening your lower back. On your next exhale, float your hands 1/4 inch off the ground, and inhale, let them lower. And try that a few more times. Baby cobra lifts. And hands under shoulders, breathe in. Press back child's pose as you breathe out. Separate your knees wide. Let your forehead rest. Come up on fingertips so you're tenting your hands and walk both hands a little bit to your left. So you're stretching your right side body. Let your head go if that's available, or use your left arm for your head to rest on. Come back up to that kind of halfway lifted position. Walk both your hands to center. And then slide your right arm under your left so you find a place that's between your chest and your throat. And then rest your head straight down. Unwind your right arm. Walk both hands any amount to your right. So you're stretching your left side body. And then rest your forehead on something. All right. Use both hands to walk yourself back to center and slide your left arm across the midline. Rest down on maybe your right forearm or on a block. So you're threading the needle with your left arm now. And then please unwind gently. Bring your elbows forward, forearms parallel to the ground. And you can choose to keep your knees down for a puppy pose and focus on getting your chest comfortably towards the floor, your forehead resting. Or you can come to a dolphin pose, keeping your elbows down but bringing your knees up. My head is relaxed and dangling. Or you can choose downward facing dog. Taking your elbows up, taking your knees up. Letting your head go, your jaw and face go. And wherever you are, we're starting to make our way slowly back to stand. So you can either walk your feet towards your hands, towards your feet, or come up in a different way that works best for you. I'm going to bend my knees before coming to stand, lift the pit of my belly, sweep my arms back, and find that balancing bird one more time. You don't have to do this. Right? You can skip it. Bring your heels down, sweep your arms through to chair pose, and then I'm pressing to stand, reaching way up and relaxing my hands down. Okay, take your legs wide, turn your toes out any amount. Make a big star shape with your body. And then on an exhale, bend both of your knees and elbows. So inhale to the star shape, exhale to the wide squat. And then stay down. So stay down in a way that's comfortable. Breathe in and breathe out. Tip your spine sideways. Breathe into center. Breathe out. Tip your spine the other way. We'll do that 2 more times. When you finish, come to your star pose, big star pose. And relax, roll your shoulders. Turn your right toes to the right and your left heel back. Bending that right knee, sweep your arms out, gaze over right fingers. Turn both palms up. Inhale, straighten your right leg and reach up and touch your fingertips if that's available. Exhale back to your warrior two. So we'll do this just 3 times today. And then keep your right hand up, press into your right big toe, bring your left hand down. And you could, if you bind your left hand behind your back, reaching towards your right hip, just if that feels good. Then look up at your right hand, feel both feet, look down, and maybe your left foot. And you can link that with breath a little. All right, so as we come into the side angle, feel free to free your back arm. I'm bringing right forearm to right thigh. And I'm going to keep my back arm bound for a moment, just if it feels good. I'm going to try looking down at my right big toe and then up at the ceiling. And then we're going to free that back arm and let it just gently dangle and swing like a pendulum. There's no effort. Let your head go to. And bring both hands to that right thigh and slowly lift up. Turn your feet parallel. And then we'll come to the other side. So you're coming to warrior two with your left knee bent. Armpits above hips, float your arms out. Turn your palms up. So we'll inhale, straighten your legs and touch your fingertips. Exhale back to warrior two with intention. Feel your courage build with your warrior poses. All right, stay up. Bring your back hand down. So right hand is going to come down. And you might bind taking your right hand behind you, just if that feels good. So you could look up at your left hand on your in-breath. Look down at your right foot on your out-breath. Feel all your joints connected and supportive. Start to bend your left knee, bring your left forearm down to your left thigh. Relax your left hand, and feel free to unbind your right arm, your top arm. Now look up and down at my left big toe now. And then free that top arm gently and let it swing like a pendulum from your shoulder. Let your hands come up to left thigh. Slowly ease up, turn your feet parallel, and then heel toe your feet in a little. Shake out. Okay, we'll breathe in and reach way up. Breathe out and dive forward, hands on thighs. Breathe in, lift your spine and lengthen. And breathe out, hands down, walking it back, downward dog or all fours. So we'll inhale here and exhale forward to plank. You can do knee plank as well. Inhale up and back. Exhale forward. Then we're staying down. Coming onto belly. Hands under shoulders. Extend your feet. Draw your heart away from your feet. Breathe in. Free your neck. Breathe out. Let your hands float just a 1/4 inch off the ground. Again, rest your palms. And then breathe out and draw your hands away from the floor, just that tiniest bit. Okay, one more time. And then we're going to cross our forearms, rest your forehead, and focus on your lower body now. So separate your feet, heels apart, big toes towards each other. Internal rotation. We're going to try lifting our straight legs up. And we're going to separate and bring our feet together without changing that orientation. So your legs stay in that pigeon-toed internal rotation, and they come apart and towards each other. And when you're done, let yourself be done. Windshield wiper your legs a little bit. And relax your legs down. Hands under shoulders, please. Breathe in, lift your heart. And breathe out, press back, child's pose. Right, so from child's pose, come on up to all fours. And feel free to pad under your knees. You might want to turn sideways on your mat. I'm going to take one leg out to the side. Feel free to hover it and then lower it down. Rock your pelvis a little bit here, focusing on your pelvis. And then try turning your back toes under and slowly easing back. Coming to your half squat. And then shifting forward again. Bring that knee in and take the other leg out to the side. Feel free to hover and then lower. And we'll rock that pelvis so you can feel that hip and the thigh in your hip socket as you rock. And then the toes of the bottom leg turn under. You start to shift back, and you can stop anytime, or you can start to turn the toes of your extended leg up. And we end up in this half squat position. Skandasana. And then shift back. Bring that knee in. Turn around and lower down onto our backs. So you're on your back. Bend your knees. Separate your feet really wide. And take your arms out. Comfortable distance. Bend your elbows. Let your knees drop in towards each other. Constructive rest. See if you can feel that your hip creases are deepening towards the floor. You're softening your hip flexors and relaxing the front of your shoulders. So we're going to inhale. And as we exhale, both knees will slowly go to one side, either side. Wait for the inhale. And as the inhale comes in, let your knees rise. And then wait for the exhale to float your knees to the other side. And now when you feel ready, notice my feet are still wide. When you feel ready, you can start, first of all, really letting your breath be guided by the movement. You can start to turn your head so your nose goes in the opposite direction of your knees. And then on your inhale, your nose goes back up, your knees go back up, and on your exhale, nose and knees go away from each other. And that keeps happening. So I'm waiting for that spontaneous inhale to happen, just waiting for it. As you do that, you might find deeper breaths happening, more like a spontaneous shudder as your inhale comes in on its own. And when you feel even with that, take your arms and legs in a big star shape. It's okay to keep your knees bent. And then use your exhale to gather in into a little ball. You could bring your nose up between your knees, but you don't have to. So inhale, reach your arms and legs far away from your body. And then exhale, curl into a little ball. All right, keep your head down. Let your knees draw apart. And keep your hands one on each knee. And use your arms to circle your knees towards each other and apart. And then go the other way. So as much as possible, keep your legs passive. As I'm noticing that it's hard for me to keep my legs passive. My legs want to do the work, and I'm trying to let my arms do all the work. All right, and then we're going to try it with arms down. Pick up your feet a little bit and active legs. So they're circling towards each other in a way and go the other way. Okay, and I'll invite you to choose one leg that stays up and the other foot that comes to the ground. So we're going to try for that passive and active range of motion. So active range of motion would be turning the knee out and the foot across the midline. And then passive range of motion would be taking your ankle onto your bottom thigh and letting your knee go away from your chest using the anchor of your bottom thigh. So then pick up your foot again away from your bottom thigh and notice the active range of motion. And then bring your ankle onto your bottom thigh again and notice the passive range of motion. Right? And then place that foot down. And we'll go to the other side. So pick up your foot, external rotation, turning your knee out, your foot across the midline. That's your active range of motion. And then bring your ankle onto your thigh. And you can ease your knee away from your chest a little. That's your active, passive range of motion. So it's passive because you've got the leg is still working, but it's held, it's supported. So that helps the range of motion go deeper. But this is our active range of motion, and this is important to notice. All right, and last time. Noticing the difference there. All right, and then both feet down. All right, I'm extending my left leg with my left arm out to the left, taking my right hand to the center of my chest. Right knee is bent. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, press all of your attention in the sole of your right foot as your right hand slides along the inside of your left arm. Any amount. Let that turn you to the left. And then use your inhale to return. 3 like this. My floor is very creaky today. All right, and we're going to change legs. So take your left hand to the center of your chest, reach your right arm and leg out. Breathe in and place all your attention in the sole of your left foot as you slide your right hand, pressing your left foot, slide your right hand your left hand along the inside of your right arm, and then return. I get confused sometimes too. So press into that left foot, slide your left hand along the inside of your right arm until it stops naturally. One more time. Bend both knees. So there's so much more we could do, but I want to give you a practice that feels fulfilling and flowing and balanced and doesn't take very long. So slide your hands near your hips, turn your palms down, and feel how there's space between your ears and your fingertips so you're reaching. We're not forcing anything, we're just reaching. And then we're pressing our feet, lifting into a bridge. And maybe you slide your hands under. You could walk your outer shoulders under. And then you could lengthen your tailbone to lower down so you're sitting on your hands, your palms down hands, maybe your wrists, forearms. Find what works. See how this feels, make adjustments. You can always put a pillow there or a folded blanket instead of your hands. If your wrists and shoulders and forearms don't like this, and it doesn't feel like a nice massage and a release, then please make adjustments. All right, I'm bringing my knees in. I'm just going to try taking my feet up. Maybe play with your feet a little bit. And maybe do some crisscrossing, some scissoring. So legs apart and legs cross. Legs apart and cross a few times. And anytime you're done, let yourself be done. Bend both those knees and take your feet to the floor and press into the floor to free your arms. Let them float out in constructive rest. We'll see if there's anything else your body wants. My body wants to do those windshield wipers again. All right. Rest, please, as you settle in to your relaxation. Feel free to elevate your lower legs on something or let yourself roll to your side or your belly or have something under your knees. Find any relaxation pose. You can commit to that. And as your mind tells you that there's a whole to-do list, remind yourself that for now you get to do this. And that rest is productive. Rest is valuable. And focus on this one thing at a time. Right now, you're resting your body. We're going to do a body scan. And when your mind says, yeah, but, you say, that's not what we're doing right now. Right now, we're doing this. And we're going to focus on this one thing and then something else later. So start with the crown of your head. And if you want to move or wiggle anything, you can. Imagine there's just molasses being dripped on the crown of your head and it's going down, softening through the back of your skull, the sides of your head, your face, your throat, your neck, your jaw, back of your shoulders, tops of your shoulders, chest, from your shoulders down both arms to your hands. To your fingers, and then through the back of your body, upper back, middle back, lower back, your butt, backs of your legs to your heels, and then the front of your body, your chest, your belly, your pelvis, your thighs, your knees, front of your shins, tops of your feet, toes, to the soles of your feet. And you can practice doing a body scan or a kind of a squeegee action feeling from the top down. And you could try doing that on a couple breaths or on one breath. And the benefit is in the practice, not in the perfection. I've done that a few times. Soften. Bring your attention to all of your cells, your whole body at once. And simply be with yourself as you are. You can stay longer, you can pause the video, continue to relax, or you can start to move through fingers and toes. Circle your tongue around inside of your mouth, your eyes around inside of your eye sockets. You might have a spontaneous yawn, or you can do a fake pretend yawn of one side of your body and then the other. Just imagine a cat yawning. Ease to one side and pause there. And you might stay lying on your side in a fetal position. You might be staying on your back, or you might be coming to sit. If it feels good, place a hand on your heart and you can ask yourself, what am I saying yes to? Who am I becoming? Turning towards your heart, listening for a spark of desire or longing. Catching that spark. Choosing whether and how to respond to that spark from a place of wisdom, discernment, and choice. What is right for me right now? What is the higher truth I'm stepping into? How am I meant to respond? Finally, decide on any action, no matter how small, that is empowered. That one baby step towards what you're saying yes to. Or to celebrate every effort. No effort is ever wasted. Celebrate every micro habit every time. Every effort. Take a deep breath in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.